By the end of this live video, you're going to know exactly how long it should take to lose 25 pounds. Not a guess, not a motivational speech, but an exact timeline based upon math and physiology. And I'm going to show you why millions of women spend 5 years trying to lose the same 25 pounds when it probably could have been done much sooner with right expectations. When I say probably, no, it should have been with right expectations. Meet Emily. You probably got an email on this. You might have seen this in Instagram or Facebook. This is Emily. Emily's completely hypothetical, made up. She's not a real person, but she represents millions of women that want to lose 25 pounds. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how long it should take. But get that image in your mind. You want to go from before and after. If I'm speaking to you, or if you know somebody that looks like the before and wants to go to the after, send them this. I'm going to show you how to do it or how long it should take. That way, expectations minus reality is conflict, and sometimes it's the conflict in your own mind based upon false expectations. If you think you can lose 5 pounds a week and you're a 145-pound woman, not going to happen. You're not going to lose 5 pounds. If you lost 5 pounds a week, you died very quickly. Your body's main objective is to stay alive. And so you want to be a certain body fat percentage. Your body doesn't care. Your body wants to stay alive. I'm going to say that again. It wants to stay alive, not be 23% body fat. It doesn't care how much body fat you have. You have body fat on your body because it's thinking, hey, I'm getting ready for a famine. So now I'm going to show you the fat loss reality calculator. Here it is, the Strange Sculpting Fat Loss Reality Calculator. I built this because most people don't have a fat loss problem. They have a reality problem. I want to show people how long it should take realistically to lose the weight. Most people underestimate what they can do in, a week, overestimate what they can do in a week, and underestimate what they could do in a year, or 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. And so that's why I made the calculator, because consistency is the key to breakthrough. And actually, consistency makes or breaks the timeline. If you're not consistent, the timeline I give you on this fat loss reality calculator won't work. Now I'm going to scroll down here. Most people don't have a fat loss problem. They have a reality problem. You don't need another diet. You need to get honest where you actually are. Choose a sex that matches your current condition. Choose a sex and body. Obviously, you should know your sex, but if you don't, go get a science book from 1995, general science book, and it will tell you. You don't have to guess. Choose your body that matches your current condition, then enter your weight. So for this, Emily is a woman. I'm going to do woman, and she's 36% body fat. I believe that's what I have her at. Let's see. Yeah, 36% body fat. I'm going to go right here. This is what you need to do. Use a photo. So if you don't know what your body fat percentage is, if you don't have a DEXA scan or in-body scan, which are not really accurate, if you do those, do a week of them every day for a week, and then look at these pictures and see which one's close, because it's not an exact science. They're off a little bit, but you can get some good patterns of what you are if you do in-body scan a lot. But look at the picture. If you can't be honest with yourself, ask your teenage kid. They will tell you exactly. And if they won't tell you because they're getting older, like 18, 19, or they're nice, then ask somebody under the age of 12. They will tell you the truth. So for this, Emily is 36% body fat. We're going to put that in there. Enter your numbers. We're going to do 145. The goal weight's 120. Now highlight your comparison model. I've got two: typical dieting and strange sculpting plan. Both outcomes are shown below. The highlighted model controls the projection table. The projection table at the bottom. It's going to give you all the details. But the numbers are based upon compliance, not wishful thinking. And so choose your pace accordingly. Pick the pace you're actually willing to execute consistently, not the pace that reflects your discipline, not your wishes. Everybody wants extraordinary results, but most people want to do it with ordinary effort. And so if you choose aggressive and you have ordinary effort, you're not going to get the results. Aggressive is extremely aggressive. This is like your David Goggins. This is the people that are insane. If I told them to run 10 miles a day, they'd do it. 7 days a week working out, and the calories really low. Whatever I told them to do, they would do. That's aggressive. These are your unicorns. Not very many people would be in the aggressive. You should use the aggressive category. It is possible. Projections based upon math and science and physiology is possible to get that goal, but not very probable. The recommended, I think, is unrealistic for most people too, because most people are not disciplined. But I'd say this: they're disciplined, but we live a life. I understand we live a life and we have a lifestyle, and depending on how disciplined you are, it depends upon how long it's going to take to get your results. And so I wouldn't even go with recommended. For most people, I'd go conservative. And I will say this: I don't really care how long it takes to your goal. You do. I'm all about results regardless of time frame. If you're consistent and you're honest with yourself, you say, Don, I'm gonna have a glass of wine every night. Okay, well, we might have to push your timeline back, but I'm all about lifestyle results unless you're a competitor of mine. And then if I tell you got to go kill a beaver and eat her, you got to do it. I don't care. But for lifestyle clients, I don't care about the pace. I care about the compliance and what you're willing to do versus what you can do. But these goals here are based upon compliance. If you don't, the projection only works if you execute. You miss consistently and the timeline breaks. So even the conservative one is based upon discipline. So I'm going to do conservative, calculate projection. This is how long I would say it should take most women like Emily. I'm going to show you again, going from 145 pounds to 120 pounds, going from looking like that to looking like that. This is how long it should take. Scroll down here. Typical goal or same goal, weight, different body. The scale doesn't show muscle loss. The mirror does and pictures do. You can hit the same weight and look worse. That's what most people do because most people cannibalize muscle mass. Not you. You're going to do something different. You're going to get on a real plan and build muscle mass and maintain muscle mass while you drop fat. Typical diet is smaller, softer, and frustrating. You can, have you ever noticed this? You probably do. You hold, if you're a 145 pound woman right now, you look at that and you say, I don't look like that picture. You might not, because you might have more muscle mass. I'm sure you've compared yourself to a lot of people. People say, you weigh the same as your friend Ginger, and you say, Ginger, she don't look, she weighs 100. We weigh the same, but I look a lot better than her, right? That's because body composition, everything. Body composition is the most important thing. Weight loss isn't. Weight is comprised of more than just fat. It's water, muscle, organ tissue, fat, and then bone. Those are your 5 different kinds of weight in your body. And whenever you get on a good plan, you gain muscle mass, you lose fat mass, but water is the one that goes ups and down. That's the reason why you might not see the loss on the scale initially. It might take a couple weeks of consistency and then the scale goes down. But if you get on a normal plan, normal plans, you lose muscle mass, about 30% muscle mass. That's what the typical American diet that people go on. They lose a lot of muscle mass. So smaller, softer, and frustrated. The projected goal at the end is 25 to 27% body fat, 26 to 32 weeks. And this is still being consistent, just the wrong macronutrients, the wrong meal plan. 4.1 pounds muscle loss. Strength sculpting plan, leaner, harder, more structured. The projected goal, 22 to 24% body fat. Projected timeline. I said, how long is it going to take? This is how long it takes. This is realistically 26 to 32 weeks to lose 25 pounds. Don, I don't have that kind of time. Okay. Well, just be consistent and be more aggressive. Hit the aggressive timeline. Press that and say, well, this is going to, and then if you say that's too long too. Well, you're probably going to stay 145 pounds like you have the last 5 years. But in reality, you're looking at about 26 to 32 weeks. If you scroll down at the bottom, it's got week by week projections. And the projected timeline I use on this, so today's date is July the 1st, 2027. 26 to 32 weeks. You should be projected finish window December 27th to February 7th, 2027. I give that timeline because of how compliance and also the range of body fat that I have in the chart. So 26 to 32 weeks is a projected timeline. Tells your lean mass projection, and then it tells your goal fat mass. It shows all these statistics. You can go on here, go on the website, and you can put your numbers on there, and it will project what you have. But for this person, 26 to 32 weeks, Emily, and it's going to take 26, 32 weeks, and she's going to be 22 to 24% body fat at the end. She has your strength sculpting advantage, same goal, same weight. It breaks down the same information, easier to understand, easier to read. Expect scale volatility. I said this earlier, but I'm going to say it again. If you're carrying a lot of body fat the first 1 to 2 weeks, you may show a sharp drop in the scale from water glycogen depletion, inflammation reduction, sodium changes, and reduced food volume. The early drop might not be pure fat loss. It's probably not. It's probably water. And then weeks later, it might slow and look flat. So if you were to get on my plan and you're a woman, this woman, Emily, and you lost 8 pounds the first week, it's not 8 pounds of fat. And this is where a lot of people get discouraged. Say, man, I was doing real good. I lost 8 pounds the first week. You didn't lose 8 pounds of fat. You lost 7 pounds of water, 1 pound of fat, or 6 pounds of water, 2 pounds of fat. You didn't lose 8 pounds of fat. And so for the next 6-7 weeks, that scale goes up and down, and you think, I'm not getting results. No, you are getting results. I said this at the very beginning. I'll say it again. Weight is not just comprised of fat alone. It's fat, water, muscle, organ tissue, and bone. Those are the 5 kinds of weight. And whenever you get on a good plan, fat goes down, muscle goes up, and water is the thing that is the most volatile. Okay. So let's scroll down here, give you the same information. Email me my full results. I encourage you to just put your name in there, email address, and email it to you. It gives you all those timelines, and it's going to give you this down here, the weekly projection, assuming real compliance. This date is for disciplined people. If your version of the compliance is pretty good, except for the parts where I don't comply, don't act shocked when the timeline slips. So here it is right here, shows you week by week how long it takes, and it gives you a rate used. And so this rate here is 0.75. It's actually 0.0075. So you actually, if you lose more than 1% of your body weight a week, it's a lot. And so for this woman who I've said is conservative, I'm not going that 1%. But if you lose 1% of your weight weekly, that's a lot. A lot of people have a problem with it. They say, I want to lose, 3 pounds a week. Well, that unless you're 300 pounds, you're not going to lose 3 pounds a week. But I'm going to show you right now how quickly you can do it. If you decide, hey, I'm going to be like David Goggins, I'm going to go as hard as I can. Be aggressive, calculate projection. This is your unicorns. This is the people that I'm going to run 10 miles a day. 18 to 24 weeks. That might be a little exaggeration, but this is extreme. This is extreme results. 19 to 25 weeks, mine. You say, Don, it actually, if you do the typical dieting, you'll lose it faster. It's a week faster. Yeah, but you lose 4.1 pounds of muscle. You gain 0.6 on my plan. I said earlier, muscle is the organ tissue of longevity. It is your metabolism is tied to muscle. Whenever you lose muscle mass, your basal metabolic rate is how many calories you burn goes down. So you want to maintain and build muscle mass. Muscle takes up less space per pound than fat. And so you actually, whenever you build muscle mass, you look smaller. Okay, so discipline demand 80 out of 100. I think it's probably way higher than that. I think it's about 100 out of 100. I don't think you can. That's just my personal opinion based upon the scientific rationale came with discipline demanding 80 out of 100 to get to this goal. Leaner, harder, more structured. And the timeline is 19 to 25 weeks. So if you want to lose 25 pounds by Christmas this year, you could do it if you are extreme. If you are aggressive. Now I'm going to show you, the last thing I'm going to show you is right here, my free resources. Click on this, Fix Your Nutrition for free. This is a no guesswork fat loss system free guide. Everybody should take this. Everybody should add this to the cart and get this. I don't know how many pages it is. I forgot. I wrote it a long time ago, but you'll know exactly what to eat. You hit your numbers around the confusion. Simple macros actually work. And it's a very easy system. It's a basics. You don't need to know a lot to get in shape. You need to be consistent. Consistency is the key to breakthrough. If you consistently eat donuts and Little Debbie snack cakes, you're going to consistently expand your waistline until one day, your belt pops and somebody loses an eye from a button off your pants. This is what I would recommend everybody do. If you even want to do the conservative approach, if you just want to do the conservative approach, I would suggest you give the 40-day fix intensive a try. If you can't do the 40-day fix intensive, you can't discipline yourself to break the addictions. People are addicted to food. If you can't break your addictions to the habits that have tied you down for years, you probably won't even hit the conservative goal. The 40-day fix is the foundation. It's first principles. What are the most important things? What can we get rid of? What do we have to have in order to get the fastest results possible? It's structure. You get momentum. And for the 40-day fix intensive, it's based upon the book I wrote called The 40-Day Fix. You can get it on Amazon. You get it on my website. But actually, I walk through it with you every week. You have to hear my voice. I call you every week. I make sure you're on it. You have a list of things you have to do every day to fill out forms to make sure you're compliant. And so if you're compliant, you'll actually build a foundation that will serve you the rest of your life. Because if you start with the wrong foundation, you build a house that's going to collapse. The Bible talks about the wise man built his house upon the rock. The foolish man built his house upon the sand. Most people who start diets and start any nutrition plan have their basic philosophy on sandy ground. That's the reason why 80% of Americans are overweight, obese, or severely obese. The 40-day fix fixes the problem. So get that. Get on the 40-day fix. I've got some availability on that. So you at least get the free nutrition thing, but I would recommend doing the 40-day fix. Listen to your Strange Sculpting podcast. You click on that. You go to the 40-day fix. The Strange Sculpting podcast. This is my last live. Actually, it's not a podcast. It just shows you my last YouTube video, Kevin James Built. So you can watch that. All of my podcasts are on YouTube where you can see my beautiful face. But if you don't want to see my face, you can go to Spotify or Apple Podcasts, Apple Music, or iHeartRadio, and you can listen to it. You can't listen to my lives, though. My lives are not there because whenever I do a calculator, the fat loss reality calculator, I want people to see how I'm coming up with the numbers I'm showing or talking about. So I hope you guys watched. You liked this video. If you did, if you know somebody that looks like Emily or you're Emily, send it to the people that look like Emily that need to drop that 25 pounds. I probably wouldn't send it to them unsolicited too. If they've said, man, I need to lose 25 pounds, maybe then do it. Because if not, well, you could send it to them. They might like, what? You telling me I need to lose weight? I look like Emily. Regardless, send it, share it, subscribe. My fat loss reality calculator is in the show notes below, so you can run your numbers and see exactly how long it takes to get to your personal goal. Then reach out to me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be back next week with another one.